Welcome to a Drop Tent Media production.
The Porcupine with Adam Nutter.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another live episode of The Porcupine. I am Adam Nutter, your host. What's going on? Thanks for joining me. If you're not live yet, that's cool. If you're recording, that's also cool. This also comes out and right after we're done going live. So pretty much we're all live together anyway. Just some quick plugs up front. I pretty much took the month of November off for comedy. So except for one day, November 20th, our monthly Drop 10 show at Chalfont, PA, right outside of Philly. It's actually a whole Drop 10 showcase. So all the comics on this network that have podcasts and shit are doing comedy. So 2 shows, 7 to 9:30. I think I'm going to host a 9:30 show. Neil's going to host the 7 o'clock show. It's going to be a great time. Get your tickets now because they will sell out like they do every single month. Droptent.com/events. Get those tickets. What else? Oh, yeah. Shirts, merch. Get a Porcupine shirt. Droptent.com/store. You get cool Porcupine shit. That logo's in the top corner. That's on a shirt. You can get that. But that's enough about me. My guest today, you know her. You love her from Twitter. Please give it up for the one and only Forrest Mommy. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. You were somebody who kind of came out of nowhere for me, like in the scene of like Twitter and Liberty and stuff like that. And I was like, who is this person? Like, what are they about? Because it's like your tweets obviously are like,
crazy people tweets.
Yeah. But like all of us, like all good libertarians, So like, and you see a good crazy person libertarian tweet, you're like, all right, this person checks out. And then I started following you, and then I saw you on Josh's podcast. That's where I really saw you. And then I went to follow you. I noticed you followed me. I was like, oh, that's cool. We follow each other now. And then when I reached out to you to do this, you were like, I thought you didn't like me.
Yeah, I thought you were another Adam, but you're not that Adam.
No.
So we're good.
No, we're all good.
But do you like how I said, I thought you don't like me, but totally, yeah, I'll talk. Like, no shame.
No, but again,
I kind of hope people who don't like me would have me on. That'd be kind of fun,
Yeah, I'm the same way. I like confrontation because crazy. So I like to scrap it up with people, especially on the internet. It's fun.
It's good practice.
Yeah. So you came out, like I said, on the scene and very unique way. So let me start with this. Why the name?
So I have this like dominant energy, but I'm not a dominant and I'm not a real mom. And I grew up in the forest. I'm going to die in the forest. I don't live in one right now, but I'm always in it.
So your Wi-Fi is great for the forest. Yeah,
like it's just like a Mother Nature vibe kind of, I guess, of like that's what I try to give the world, is to be loving, but like, a mother with a firm hand, just the adult men especially. But
yeah, fair. So you grew up in the forest?
Yeah, out here in Colorado.
All right.
It's a private, but it's really close to what's called the Pike National Forest. It's like a foothill behind me. So.
All right, and so you were always like a woodsy person.
Yeah, I luckily got to grow up there. So my parents moved there from Chicago, so I got to grow up on 10 acres of like mostly forested, out in the boonies land, and yeah, it was great.
Oh, so you have Chicago parents, essentially.
Yes. Do you have Chicago parents too?
No, I have New York parents.
Okay.
I'm a New Yorker. I live outside of Philly now.
You're on the East Coast.
I'm from New York, yeah.
Yeah.
So were they, because Chicago's a pretty liberal place, were they?
Oh no, the whole reason we got out of there, my dad saw what was coming and he was like, we're getting the F out of here. And luckily he did it at the right time because he left there and was able to sell and came to Colorado, and it's super cheap out here, and it worked out. It worked out great for me. Like I didn't grow up in Berwyn, Illinois is where I lived till I was 6. So I don't really remember that. I only remember like the cool part of my life in the forest.
the part that matters the most.
Yeah, the fun part.
The fun part. So what was your favorite shit to do in the forest then? Just like, were you like a hunter? Were you like a trapper? Like what were you doing?
we would set up running races, like cross country running races, and then we would we had a riding tractor with a trailer. Me and my brother would pull each other on it and like pretend camp in part of the forest in our little tractor, and we had always woodworking. There's always like actual forestry work to do. So that as kids, we got put to work doing that, dragging logs up the hill, which is like good. Like I feel like every kid should do that. Like, you know,
Yeah,
makes you strong.
Oh, for sure. That's the thing about growing up in like Staten Island that like you know, we don't get is because it's a city.
Right.
So it's like we just growing up. You're like, hey, don't get hit by that fucking car. All right, now go. It's
Right.
like, you know, now now we can go sledding, like the car pass. Like, you know, like this actually happened on Staten Island. Like a year or two before I left, a man, an adult man. I want to make this very clear. An adult man died sledding in Staten Island because he got drunk and went down his driveway in a snowstorm for fun. But some old lady was driving her fucking giant Buick. And he just kept going into the street, and this old lady just fucking dumb.
Oh no!
Right over his fucking dumb head. Yeah.
I guess he went like doing something pretty fun. Like hopefully he had some joy in his heart right before it happened.
Apparently the guy was a giant asshole. So
Oh.
I don't know. Might have all worked out for the
Weird.
best.
What a way to go.
But I do kind of envy some of that sometimes, like that alternative non-city lifestyle. Like growing up that because I don't have, you know, I only know one way. So I wish I could have had other skills than just being able to drive well. You know?
True. Yeah. Yeah. You would learn you learn how to drive early out here and just lives out in wide open spaces. You could just drive real good, pick it up real quick.
So your parents fled Chicago like refugees essentially because they're like, fuck this liberal shit. We're going out west.
And just
Which-
dangerous shit too. Like
Well,
we
yeah,
were a
yeah.
little closer to the city. It's like, ugh.
So I'm assuming were they libertarian or they conservative, like Republican, like old school?
We grew up conservative Christian, but my parents did vote for Ross Perot in '93. We went to a rally. I was like there as a little kid for Ross Perot. So like they weren't like rah-rah GOP Republicans, definitely more like independent Republicans, more liberty, I would say. Like this year we've gotten along great over the last year with all this COVID crap because we all agree how dumb it is. So that's been nice.
Yeah, I was you know, we were the elections obviously just happened and a lot of people were like, well, you know, a lot of Republicans won, so at least, you know, you get some of a swing back the other way. I was like, yeah, but they didn't stop the lockdowns like the Republican, like, you know, it's like they didn't do it. Like, know what that's good for? I said them winning a bunch of stuff locally and, you know, governor wise, I think that's good for like a cultural impact, at least, to stop crazy like CRT nonsense. But like it's not good for anything else. Like it's good for literally nothing. It doesn't help like taxes go down. It doesn't eliminate again the Jesus Christ, what train of thought. The lockdowns, the mandate stuff, like the vaccine stuff. They're not doing anything for that. You know?
No. And they had such a good opportunity last year, especially with like the religious people, like when their churches were getting shut down. Like the Libertarian Party could have went after this too, just like had made a big fuss about that. I'm not even religious, and that was like making me so mad because my parent, you know, that's their these are people's communities, and you're literally taking it away from them, and it just was so cruel. And so like if the Republicans had done anything about it, which they didn't either, and neither did the LP obviously, but it would have been nice to see that.
Well, okay. Well, two things about the LP, right? Is one, we are in no position of power to do anything.
No.
Two is they're more worried about offensive tweets than they were about any mandate or lockdown or closure or job loss or anything of freedom, you know, at all.
Yeah. You have to kind of be able to like put some risk out there of saying the crazy stuff you're gonna say, like like we do, and they should have took that risk, but they didn't.
I think they would have got a lot of credibility from, especially on the fence people, right? Because you have a lot of moderate rights and a lot of moderate. I mean, the few moderate lefts I guess you have left in the country, but like, you know, you have a bunch of them, and they're like, oh, I you know, even if you were for like, you know, the vaccines are cool, or, you know, oh, hey, no, the 2 weeks thing was fine. But then how many people after like 6-7 months were like, hey, what are we doing? Like, you know, it's like, even the moderate left people were like, who might've been for all for the lockdown stuff at the beginning, they even turned, you know, and then it's like, right, what are we doing? You know, it's like, but the Republicans didn't do shit to stop it.
Nope.
and the LP didn't do shit to say anything, so they didn't capitalize. So then, of course, this election cycle, well, who won again? Well, Republicans. I mean, yeah, in PA, like we got a bunch elected, but we had over 100. I think I had 120. We had 125 elected Libertarians in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But it's a lot of it's uncontested races.
True.
So, you know, your camera's lagging, by the way. Now it's
is
lagging.
it?
Yeah, now it is. It wasn't before, but you said to say if it was, but now it is.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're good. So like that's another big issue that we have in the LP, like is that this whole like, oh, should we run candidates? Should we, you know, care more about the messaging? It's like we could do both, but I don't think like running an uncontested race for like judge of elections means anything. Like, how does that help promote liberty? Like, if we win that spot, okay, so we get a libertarian judge of elections, great. Let's say our governor wants to do another lockdown. Let's just say, and now he's like, okay, I want to do another lockdown. What is the judge of elections libertarian going to do to stop that?
Right.
Nothing.
No, it's so hard to like know what to do. Even just before tonight, I was out with some Mises Caucus people, and we're trying to put a pact together for like a medical freedom kind of pact where we'll help. But it's still like, well, it's taking so much work just to get this part going. Like, and I sound like an idiot talking about it because other people have been doing a lot more of the nitty gritty work with it. But like, it's just so much work. But we're still gonna try and do stuff like that too. Hopefully that can do something. But you still have to know people. You still like, you know.
No, for sure. So what do you? So you? I'm assuming you have a job. Do you talk about your job or no?
Yeah, I'm a real estate
Okay.
broker in Colorado.
Okay.
I haven't name doxed myself. That's all.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm Forest Mommy. I really am Forest Mommy.
So is are you personally at risk then for any mandate stuff? Like it starts January 4th. It's coming down the pipe. So like, are you going to be fucked? Are you going to have to like quit? Are you going to have to like are you fine?
I'm fine until so I'm licensed through the state, and the same people who like regulate my license are who made the mandate on the medical licenses already. So there's nothing to stop them from going after every license, electrician license. They'll probably do like it tiered, I'm sure. So as long as I can keep my license, I can keep my license. But
right, because you could just be an independent broker, right?
Yeah, but if I don't have a license with the state,
right.
But then I would just start, I would just start a consulting company and teach people how to do it on their own. So I'll get around that.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Like, I mean, I think there's only two ways out of the mandates, right? Is like complete and overall violence, right? Is like we just completely turn around with guns, like, nah, fuck this, or mass non-compliance.
Yeah.
So you have all these companies,
complying.
Right? I was saying, I mean, I'm a comic, so I can't really, get fired, but I do get excluded from performing at places
because of mandates right now.
Well, New York City is one of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the whole city there. The comedy club out here, Comedy Works. There, you have to have a vaccine to go there now. Like,
that's a bummer.
I know. It's like so dumb.
But comedy's super liberal.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I don't know.
You had a rough year this last year, didn't you?
Yeah.
You probably all the shutdown. I'm sorry. I'm glad you made it through.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I did about like maybe 20 shows, 25 shows all of 2020.
In-person ones?
Yeah. Your camera's frozen again. Yes.
Is my mic at least keeping up? If the mic's
keeping up. Yeah, your mic's
good. That's good.
Yeah, no, in-person ones, yeah. In-person ones. I've refused to do Zoom comedy because that's for shitty comics, I think.
It doesn't work right. It doesn't hit right. As a comic taker inner.
Comedy viewer.
Yeah.
There was a weird time. So like there was a good thing about that for comedy and a bad thing. So obviously the bad thing was like everybody had to stop doing shows, everybody had to stop going on the road, everybody stopped like touring. But then all the comics who kind of like were only doing it as like a social thing, where they weren't really that good, they were just kind of doing it as like almost like a name for themselves, like I'm a comic, like whatever. They stopped doing it. Like it fell off for them. So like a lot of shitty comics kind of died out in the pandemic. I don't mean physically died out. I mean like their careers died out because like there was nothing to keep up with because like they weren't hanging out. They would just go to clubs and hang out and like do one set, bomb, You're like, I'm a comic. It's like, okay. Yeah. And like, but they all kind of fell off. And then the other thing I noticed is all the shitty comics who would always bomb in real comedy love doing Zoom comedy shows.
Oh, because they don't get any feedback, huh?
Because you can't. Everything's an excuse to not bomb, right? You're like, well, other people's microphones are on, like the dog was barking, like this isn't really meant for comedy, all of these reasons, and it's like, okay, I watched you bomb 100 times in person. Nothing's different. You're just not funny, So that's an interesting. All the comics who are like really heavily promoting Zoom comedy shows, they're usually not good at comedy in person.
They're like, we're taking the easiest route possible before, and still.
Yeah. And still being trash. But yeah, I got to ask you a few. And I was like, good. I'm going to pass. Yeah. But
sticking to your art.
But it's, so what made you get into, since you're Forrest, mommy, what made you get into real estate housing, which is very anti-foresty?
I got my license in 2015. My family has a couple properties and stuff, and like my parents were landlords. So I'm like, well, if we sell stuff off, we might as well keep the money in the family. So that's like initially why I got the license to do it. And then I obviously can work for other people as well. So.
All right.
And it's cool. It's just, I don't know. It's just a good thing to have, but you don't even need it really. Like I'll be totally libertarian about it. Like you can do your own home sales. It's just nice to have people who know it, like to look out for and stuff.
Right. It's like the thing of like, I'm dumb and I don't want to figure out a lot of shit on my own. So like, I'd rather pay you money to just do it right, get it done the first time, and I don't have to worry about it ever again. Just let it fucking go. It's just, so I'm with you on that. So, all right. So your parents were, again, Christian conservatives. So what made you go then the Liberty route? Because that's like a step.
It was like I was more left I moved out at 18, moved out in 2002, and I was like, I'm not living under your house and following your rules. I'm a strong, independent woman. So like I moved out, which in retrospect it was good because I learned how to be, I was on my own young and had no help from anybody. So it was like, but all along I wasn't really left or right. Really, I feel like I'm still the same person and thinking that just let people live their lives and don't impose on them and don't let them impose on you. Like just the very simple things we all understand. So, and then I think I got more just because of the crazy nonsense I was saying this year, I got hooked up with more Liberty people. So I think that's why. And then I'm like, well, I might as well try and help out with the party and stuff too. I know like whatever, it may never work. Like Mises Caucus too. Like nothing may ever work or anything, but if I have energy to put it places, I'm gonna. So I don't know. I was when I used to be on Facebook. I was in like Liberty Anarchist Twitter and Facebook too for a while, but I haven't been on Facebook forever. So.
Oh, you mean Meta?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Meta. Are they like really calling it that?
Well,
like when you open the app.
I think they're trying to, but apparently some company is already called Meta, and they're trying to buy them out for $20 million. I was like, yeah, sell it for $20 million. Like, of course, like that. See, that's the thing too. Is like everybody has a number. Everybody has a number, and it's like yours might be super high, but you have one. Like, I was I said this already before, but I was doing a pod. You know Mash Shore. I was doing a podcast with him, and he said his sellout number is like 80 million or 800 million, like a super high millions of dollar just to sell out to stop talking about Liberty. And I was like, man, I'd suck a dick for way less. Like you kidding me? Like way. And I have never done a gay thing in my life. That's not true. But like I would like, it was crazy. Like you know how much $800 million is? $800 million, dude. It's so much fucking money. No,
like a tenth of that, or not even.
Yeah,
1% of that. I'm just kidding.
1%. Yeah, 1% of that. So you were like a very liberal when you were younger, or like a woke liberal?
More just like I wasn't gonna get married. I didn't want to live my life traditionally, and my family did want me that. So
I think that's called just teenage angst and lashing out against your. That's like fucking Footloose.
Yeah. Yeah, so and it's funny because now I'm older and I still don't live like my personal life traditionally, but I'm like everyone else should be traditional, like like it's just like a good idea if you're gonna have kids and stuff like. But I can't live my life like that.
No, it's interesting. I'm kind of the same way, but you hit a good point because I feel like a hypocrite when I say that. I'm like, no, I think like
I'm a
nuclear.
hypocrite.
Yeah, right. But I'm like, oh, I think nuclear families are good, and like you should do that. Like you shouldn't watch porn. Like I did when I was younger for it fucked me up. Like I stopped for a while now, and it's like, but like I get it. But like you shouldn't. I don't know.
So some things make sense. Some
Yeah,
things
some
make
things make
sense.
sense. I think like don't. I don't know. I don't want to say don't be like a whore, like as a dude or a chick, but like I don't also think it's good to just have a bunch of one night stands either. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. There's balance and there's what's gonna hurt your soul or not. Like don't ever do anything that hurt your soul or like make you feel terrible. There's a smart way to do it. You can be ethical about things.
Yeah, sure. No, for sure. You're a yoga person, right?
Yeah, I like yoga. Although I haven't been to the yoga studio I used to go to since March 2020.
Oh wow. So
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. So where you live in Colorado is it's very left.
It's right where I live is a suburb of Denver. So I'm outside Denver. So it's definitely blue because the cities are just blue here. It's just very rural city separation out here. And so it's a better of the suburbs, I guess, politically, but not really. So like it's pretty left out. Like our county health departments sucked and stuff. So I gotta get back out to the forest.
So you need a mandate to go to your studio, or they shut it down?
No, so I'm a little bit of a brat and I'm not complying with anything. So I could have went last year and wore a mask. Well, it's heated yoga. I'm not wearing a mask in heated hot yoga. And like yoga is about breath. Like it's literally about breath and connecting your breath and your movement. That's the whole not the whole point, but that's like a big point. So I'm like, I'm not going to wear a mask. So I didn't refuse to do that. And then it's now the place I used to go. I'm sure I can find other places to go, but the place I used to go, it's vax only now. And I even hired a girl from there and I like had her come to my house privately last year and paid her good money. And that was nice. But what are you going to do? I'm not going to get a vaccine so I can go to yoga.
No, I totally agree. So again, I live out by Philly now, and my buddy was trying to go to the Sixers game the other day, and Philly is actually one of the few cities in America with the sports teams are actually in Philadelphia, like actually in the city that they say they play for. Like, again, I'm a Giants fan, and they play in Jersey. It's the New York Giants. Most teams do not play. Like Dallas doesn't play in Dallas, Buffalo doesn't play in Buffalo. Like no one plays where they play. So Philly's one of the few. So all their arenas are literally next to each other. So you have like the Wells Fargo Center where the Flyers and Sixers play. You have the Lincoln Financial Field where the Eagles play, and then the fucking Citizens Bell where the Phillies play. Like all literally in blocks of each other. So Philly has the vaccine mandate. So my buddy was going to the Sixers game, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to the game." I'm like, "Hey, bud, you're not vaccinated." He's like, "Oh, fuck, that's right, I forgot." I'm like, "So I go on the website," and he looked, and he was like, "Oh, Wells Fargo or the NBA says you need a vaccine to not wear a mask or a negative COVID test within 72 or for 24 hours to come in, but they have to wear a mask and shit." So he goes, he's like, "Fuck, I'll just go rapid test in the morning." He goes, spends like a decent chunk of change on a rapid test because they're like not cheap. They're like, what, like $50 for $60, whatever they are. Maybe
I haven't done one. I don't know. I've never been tested at all.
Same. I'll get to that. I'll get to that in a minute. Don't you forget that. I'll get to that in a minute. And then he goes in the morning, pays a decent chunk of change to get one, rapid test. He's negative. Goes to the game. They don't check shit. So it's like, so are they doing it? Because it's Philly. It's not like the suburbs of Philly where like, oh, we're kind of libertarian Republican out here, so fuck it. It's Philly. And it's a major arena in Philly. It's the NBA. It's not even like the WNBA or the fucking college team. It's the NBA. So it was weird to me that they just were like, no, you're good. They even look for anybody.
Well, at least the testing company made some money. Is making money.
But that kind of gives me possible hope. But then it's weird that you're like, oh, my small fucking studio in Podunk burb of fucking Denver is checking, but Wells Fargo Arena isn't. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, our arena is our Pepsi Center, just or whatever they're called now. It's called something else, I think, but they're doing it. But I bet it'll be the same thing. Like people probably won't even check. It's probably just screw all this stuff. It's so stupid. Like it's just stupid.
No, of course it is. But like, I would like to go to a Giants game again. Like I would like to go to a Yankee game again. Like I would like to go to these things, but I refused. Oh, this is my point. I refuse to get tested because I don't want to even contribute to the fucking whatever's going on.
Right.
Like, I don't even want my number, to be contributed to whatever stat.
And I'm not sick. If you don't feel sick, why would you get tested if you don't feel sick? Like it's just so enraging. But whatever. Like
yeah, and it's the other thing too is like we have to be careful what we say on here, or we'll get kicked off of YouTube and shit. Like
right.
It's like I tweeted this out a while ago, and I was like, just to be clear, every single time a group of people censored speech, they were the bad guys.
Yeah, they're
literally
the cool people. Whatever the cool people you want to hang out with.
Literally 100% of the time, they were the bad guys. And so that's I guess to go back to the duopoly of the right and left, like the struggle that I feel like a lot of libertarians have is like, well, who do we hate? Who should we hate on more to who's the worst evil running the country right now, right? It's like, well, I don't know, the left because of shit like that. When they're so like you're just stripping away your rights and your freedoms as an American. It's like I don't see again the politicians, I should say, didn't do anything. So they're garbage and fuck them, right? But like they're actively like, yeah, you should get vaccinated. You should fucking get this mandate. You were gonna oppress your speech on YouTube. Like, oh, cool. So we can't even openly talk about my idea because I'm worried about YouTube deleting the channel I built up because of just for First Amendment.
Just talking about things that are going on that affect you and like it's real. Like, and why can't we talk about things? No, I was gonna say even the dancing clubs here, you have to have papers to get in. So I used to go out dancing in the gay club once a month. Papers. Like, I'm not gonna get a vaccine or a test to go dancing. That's so stupid, and it's so ironic with the gay club, especially. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's. I still think that's kind of why there hasn't been like a sweeping overall vax mandate on every level yet. Because thank you, Black community, for staying strong and not getting this shit. Because it's racist as fuck. This mandate, and they know it, but they're also stuck in their progressive shit. So they're still trying to figure out a way to not demonize Black people for not taking the jab. And they can't figure it out because they're too fucking stupid and immoral.
Right. No, then they just keep calling everybody else racist. Like after the Virginia race, everybody's racist. Like they're like, oh my gosh, we lost because everybody's racist.
Right. They voted in the very first Black female lieutenant governor of the state. Mad racist, guys. She's Republican. It's like mad racist.
If you wonder, like, that's just the media still just trying to like spin. And it's like, aren't these people tired? Like, how do you listen to that and believe that all this time?
The truth of the matter is school choice, right? And for that, especially that race, and is like they called parents domestic terrorists and racist because they didn't want their children being taught, by the way, completely false history. Forget all the other complete racial biases in there. They're just lying about history and what happened. So parents are like, hey, yeah, I'm white and we're not evil from birth. So let's not teach my son that or daughter that. Thanks, man. And they're like, you're a domestic terrorist. Oh, I also don't want my 7-year-old or 6-year-old who is not sick, who has almost a 0% chance of being hurt from this thing, to wear a fucking mask on their developing faces. It's child abuse.
It is.
When I see parents doing that to their children on the street, I'm compelled to yell out, you're committing child abuse to your child. But I don't, because I've been instructed not to.
Maybe it's time, though. I know someone else out here in Denver. He's got a podcast, and he said he's having a hard time holding back. He's been on like the bus or something, and like had some discussions with people. Like, it's like, you're being stupid. Like,
yeah.
How do you not see? And then when they're going to be start trying to stick them, all these kids now, they're going to make that like a mandated thing. Like,
I don't know if you saw some of those notes being sent home, but they're like, oh, there'd be a testing, not a testing site, a shot site on school. Parents are not allowed to be there. Wow, really?
And like it's consent. If you send your kid to school, it's consent to getting the shot or something. Like,
yeah, man. I mean, I always knew public school was shit, right? But like not until the last 2 years of my adult life. I'm 30. I'll be 35 this month, and I really didn't realize how truly indoctrinatingly, immorally evil public schools truly are. I always knew they were garbage, and I always knew they weren't good, but I didn't realize the depth of how bad they were until the last year or two,
and how far they're willing to go, and like what they got the teachers to do last year, and like the things they got them to say, and they're still lying, and the teachers unions are lying because they wanted them closed, but they're saying they wanted everything open. Like they just lie, and like it's like creepy. It's creepy watching it as like not having a kid. It's creepy to see. I don't know. I don't get why the teachers are pushing so hard to be so creepy. And not even just on the COVID stuff, but like gender stuff too, or whatever. Like, and I'm the most open-minded person. Like, let these kids be kids. It's like, I don't get why the strangers need to talk to them about that.
That's what it comes down to, right? It's like, I don't want your agenda being, I don't care. It's not about, by the way, that's the other thing too, is like, you know what? I'm allowed to not like it. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm done with this bullshit of like, we have to be totally. No, I actually don't. I'm not being a dick. I don't have to be fucking mean, but like, I don't have to be like, yeah, you know what? There are 82 genders. No, there's not. I'm sorry, but there's not. You know, I'm not doing this bullshit anymore. Like, I'm not going to be proactively mean. And I'm not going to go out there and like make fun of anybody. It's not about that, but I don't have to be told something that is just not true. And I don't have to go along. Like, okay, I always make this comparison. I go, hey, if your kid is playing Cowboys and Indians or Spacemen or T-Rex dinosaurs, right? And then you go, hey, Joey, what do you want to be when you grow up? He's like, I want to be a velociraptor. You go, nah, man, that's retarded because you can't be a dinosaur, right? That's what you say to a child. It's the same thing. You have adults, though, who are like, I want to be a fucking owl fox. Call me Owl Fox Dragon Master. And you're like, nah, man, that's fucking retarded. You're a person, right? I'm not going to say that to you. Like, I'm going to call you whatever name you want. I'll call you whatever name you want me to call you. That's fine. Yeah. Right? I'll call you Brian, Kelly, whatever. But I'm not going to be like Zer. And people are like, well, why? It doesn't hurt you at all. It's not about that. It's about like making a stand for fucking lunacy. It's crazy. And I'm not just going to give in to crazy.
Pushy. It's why is someone pushing me to like address them as, it's just weird. It's just too much. Like, I don't ever tell someone they have to call me something, you know, like, I don't know. It's just, these people are just too much. Some of them, they're pushing too much.
You know, I agree. So what made you then start coming out super more in the like? What was there a certain issue or anything that made you come out like more in the moment? Like, you know what I'm saying?
For
like
liberty?
For liberty, yeah. Sorry, couldn't think of the word.
Well, I mean, the COVID shutdowns. The minute they happened, I was in it to win it. Then, like, everyone was telling me to shut up, and so I got off Facebook, like went to Twitter and saying my shit on Twitter. So I guess that would be it.
It was just a COVID thing. That was the one.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not right. Like, this is not. I was like, I lost 20 pounds, and I didn't have 20 pounds to lose, but I was like shaking like a chihuahua that whole like March, because I'm like, this is not right. What's going on? And you know, in the doom I had in my heart, I'm like, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. And look where we are now. It hasn't stopped this whole time, you know? So,
yeah.
But whatever. Now they've radicalized me now. So, like, bring it.
No, I was going to say, I think the whole thing, it really did turn a lot of people's minds, like white pill, red pill, whatever pill color you want to say. I think it radicalized a lot of people, because when you start fucking with people's livelihoods, families, kids, people are like, nah, fuck that. Like, you know, my wife, she never gave a shit about politics ever. And then once the government was like, you can't do this, she was like, what? And then she started paying attention. But you know what? Now they made an enemy out of her.
Yep.
Right? So now you have one more enemy against you, government. So thanks for us. Thanks for the Liberty Movement. Because now she's on fucking Twitter every day reading up on shit. You know, fucking, she's not a tweeter, But like, she reads up on shit. She's on articles. She's like, oh yeah. And now she's involved and now she's smart about it. So like now you just made it like it's like how we made terrorists in the Middle East by bombing fucking people. They made someone now who's educated in politics more, and now they care more. And now they vote and they actually have a voice instead of just doing the right thing. You radicalize somebody.
Especially when you're telling people, I mean, most people who got hurt this last year are people who've played within the lines and have done the right things. And they're productive members of society and they're paying in and they're this. And then you're going to do that to them? Like, you're going to ruin their livelihoods and close their businesses they've been running for years and years? Like, that's not how you make a friend. But I guess when you own the armies and the supply lines and everything, I guess you don't have to worry about us plebs. So.
Yeah, well, that was the other annoying thing about the right too. When they're all like Blue Lives Matter, I was like, the cops are the ones who like arrested people for opening businesses. Like, it wasn't who do you think it was? You think Fauci was kicking in doors, being like, "You come with me"?
I wish you would. I wish you would show up at my door. Oh my god, Fauci.
But it's that's a thing we have to break with the right-leaning people. Like,
I think they're starting to see it. Don't you think they're kind of starting to see it?
Because they did, right? They did during the shutdown. But then as soon as the left gets on their shit again, they're like, fucking Blue Lives Matter. Like, they just trigger them back back to where they were.
It's true.
They're not smart enough. That's what I'm saying. That's where the right's big at fault. They're not smart enough to fucking be like, no. Stay in your lane. Stay true to your guns. That's a diversion tactic. They're trying to fucking make us say that shit. No. Stick on the issue, but they don't do it. They let them fucking get in their head too much, and it's dumb. But the left is shooting themselves in the foot a shit ton because of a lot of the like the false flags they're running, like in these campaigns, like the one in Virginia with like dude, you have a black guy in there, you have a chick who clearly is a fucking like lefty, frump, like it's like you really. By the way, if that was real, you really think they would do tiki torches again?
I know. These people got too much time on their hands to be doing that kind of stuff. This is why everyone needs to go back to like gardening and farming so that they don't have time to do crap like that,
That agorist lifestyle. Are you into that? Like the whole agorism thing?
I mean, I won't prescribe to anything, but I'm in the future, I want to be prepared and as off the grid as I can and off, doing more trade and barter. I trade and barter a lot as it is. I haven't paid for a haircut in years.
What are you trading? Fucking beaver pellets and cap? What are you doing?
My man's labor. That's how I get free haircuts. So
fair. That's fair.
I barter and trade him.
That's fair. I wish I had a fucking something I could do with that. With
little things like that. Why not? And we gotta start looking for more things like that if we want to stay off of the system as much as we can, which I think anyone can agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's too hard for my personal family to do first of all, I do comedy. I have a podcast. Like, I have 3 podcasts, 4. I don't know how many podcasts I do. I do too many. So I literally need to be on the grid. And then also, she's a teacher, so like private school though. But yeah, should do private school or homeschool your kids. No public school bullshit. But like the pay is crazy for public school. Like, it's so high. Like, so I live in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and the Council Rock school, I think at the school district I live in, Council Rock, is the first or second best in the state of Pennsylvania. So and New Hope, Solebury one is the first or second one also, whatever. We're 1, 2. And we're literally on top of each other. It's wild. So like, this is Bucks. New Hope is 15 minutes from my house. I do comedy all the time. It's wild. So it's weird that like both best school districts are where I am. But public school teachers here get paid like $90,000.
Dang.
Crazy money. And she gets paid not that at private school. You know what I'm saying? So, but here's the other annoying thing. I see how hard she works. Like, she is in the other room still doing stuff for work. Like she's also the head of a department. Like, she's in charge of people. Like, she's constantly working from home. I see it. So yeah, you'd be like, well, you're lying. Well, I'm not lying. I see it. She's not lying to me. I'm watching with my own eyes, right? Like, she was on her laptop. She's grading tests. Then you talk to public school teachers, and they're home by like 2:50. They do no work from home. They grade test like at their job, and then they complain about working. And then during the pandemic, they're like, it's so dangerous. The virus is so dangerous. And then they got caught at the beach.
Did you remember how they did like fake coffins? They were doing like protests where they were bringing like fake dead people and fake coffins. They were so scared they were going to die if they had to go back to work. Like, what the heck was that? That was the union. The union put that together, I think, too. Like, what the heck? You can go there and take these coffins there, but you're scared to work at school. Like, they played their hand bad last year. No one likes teachers anymore.
Yeah.
The public school teachers.
No, it's a lot, because also, to be fair, a lot of the teachers she works with are also probably garbage, who don't want to do. I know for sure some are, right? Like, it's like anything else. Like, there's bad apples in fucking literally every job, but like, but I personally see my wife work at what she does, and I know there's other teachers that don't. So like, is it fair that she gets paid way less than public school teachers? Like, of course it is. But this is like the system, and this is part of the whole thing with Virginia, right? It's like, well, fuck this system, blow it up. It's garbage. We have to spread that shit across the whole way. Will it? I don't know. It's like, what do we do from, like, how do you, and that's the other thing. Does this Virginia governor like follow through? Or does he just go, thanks for the fucking win, and then right back to just good old classic Republican shit?
Republicans not doing anything.
I don't know. Could be. I don't know. It's rough, man. I don't know where do you think we're gonna be come next election? Like, do you think?
I don't think there's gonna be an election. I'm black-pilled.
No, I don't even mean like presidential. I meant like next, like local stuff, like midterm stuff. Like, do you think you're gonna see? I think we're gonna see more of a swing right, just because of everything that went on, naturally, right? What do you think? Right swing, or fucking hard push back to where we are?
I would hope so. I could see parts of Colorado even getting rid of our Governor Polis. I could see some people wanting to swing back right, but then there's so many people have moved here, so I don't know. I hope so. If it's happened in Virginia, then hopefully it happens other places too on the bigger scale. So,
but then like the Northeast, like by me, like Jersey, that guy just won again. I don't know if you saw that Project Veritas leak.
Is it a new one? I haven't seen a new one.
It was like 2 weeks old, maybe, but it was from Governor Murphy's office.
Oh no, I didn't see that one.
And there was like an aide being like, "Oh no, as soon as he gets reelected, he's gonna put the mask mandate back into place. He just didn't do it for election." Yeah, and it's like, and then of course they're waiting on all the votes from Newark, and it's like, well, that's super blue. It's a blue, it's a blue city. Of course he won. It's like the mayor for New York, Democrat, of course. Like, New York will never go red again. I truly believe that. I don't think they'll ever go red again. I think the whole Northeast is just, that's how it is.
I could see that, and it's such shallow blue. Anyways, it's just controlling the masses there, where all the people are at. They just control the masses. They're easier, I guess.
It's bad there, especially I'm obviously friends with a lot of New York comics, and I'm not even talking about the ones who are fucking sheeped out. I'm talking about like the good ones, like me and others who think like us. They're like, it's fucking rough here. Like, it's like everyone's like, if you're brainwashed that way to the vid and all that shit, they're like, it's like the people still look at you weird without masks. Like, you still, certain restaurants won't serve you without certain paperwork. Like, they're like, it's really bad. And like a lot of guys and girls who do comedy like left New York because like we can't. LA too, unlivable. It's like we have two major cities on the coast that are just fucking ruined.
They are ruined.
Like LA is so nice. Aesthetically, LA is beautiful. Like, the beach is sick. The Pacific Coast, oh my God, the Pacific Coast Highway is sick. The palm trees, the hills. It's a fucking beautiful place, and it's like you can't go there, especially now. Like, I can't go there. You can't go there. You literally cannot go anywhere. That's what I'm saying. Like, we were talking to some California Mises people about doing a comedy show out there. And I was like, well, I'm sure 90% of us, especially if it's a Misa show, are not vaccinated. So where are we going to do the show? Because everywhere in California, it's not LA. It's like, outside of LA, but like it's still, mandates. Like, all right, well, that hurts venues. So I don't know what you want to do. What are we going to do? It's hard.
But shout out to Angela McArdle out there for all the work she's doing, fighting all that. Girl, like, she has to be working nonstop, man.
I feel bad, especially for her and the Mises Caucus of California, because that has to be the hardest place to be those people. Like, for our world, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Because I know Northern California, like Republicans, that's like more right leaning. It's like the woods of Northern California. But I mean, if you're a Mises person in fucking LA, you might as well just kill yourself.
I don't know how she does it.
I mean, it's bananas to me. All those people out there, I'm like, hey, hats off, good job. You're doing the Lord's work out there for us.
Yeah, I would have blown my brains out probably already. Just kidding. In Minecraft.
I'm not a Minecraft person. I'm sorry. I was actually.
I'm not either. I just don't want your channel to get shut down.
Can you say that for you? You can make jokes about killing yourself.
I don't know. Who knows anymore? Or they'll
I
send
do,
someone to my house or something.
I do on my comedy podcast all the time, and we haven't been pulled yet.
Okay, good. As long as that's allowed still, then that's good.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like they're really hampering down like what the fuck like we could say even for comedy. Like I can't be facetious. People is this serious? It's like, no, you were serious. Like, no, I wasn't serious when I was like, I'm gonna kill 42 people with a machine. Like, I'm just joking, or like whatever. Like, we're all just being dicks. Like, it's none of this is real. None of what I say is real. Like, trust. I'm just being. I'm just trying for comedy. I'm just trying to say whatever I think is gonna get a reaction out of you. That's gonna be. It might be over the top. It might be subtle. It might be tongue in cheek. Whatever. But all those things could be mean, rude, cruel, or not. But I need the ability to try it out. And when like we're scared to try it out, then you don't get good comedy.
Especially as a comic, because you guys are like the last people who are allowed to like say whatever, So
well, we're not. I mean, we get
canceled. If they're taking it from you, yeah, like. Ugh.
Oh, you want to hear? I'll tell you a fun story of real left-wing brainwashing. Okay. There's a comic in New York who is not good. And you know who Shane Gillis is?
Yeah.
Okay. Out of nowhere, within the last few months, she recently trashed Shane again publicly for no reason. Out of nowhere. She's like, I wonder whatever that racist comic from SNL that got fired's up to doing. That's what she said. Out of nowhere. Trashing him, okay?
On stage?
No, in a tweet.
Oh.
But she has a pretty big following. Again, bad comic, but big Twitter following. Be careful for those. She tweets that out. And this is the brilliance of Shane Gillis, by the way. He doesn't respond with words. All he does is takes a clip of her stand-up, that tweet of hers, and just put it on his Instagram. And just watch her eating shit and bombing its comedy. And then what people started doing is they started going through her Twitter. And they started going through her old tweets from like 2015, 14, 12. Bunch of crazy racist shit from this white girl. Right?
Of course. Every time.
So, it gets crazier. She was a writer on an Adult Swim show. I don't know what Adult Swim show, but she was a writer on Adult Swim, okay? Adult Swim fires her for it. Oof. Which I'm against. I don't agree with that. Even though she's a douchebag, right? I still don't. I'd be a hypocrite for that. So no, I don't agree with that. But here's where that brainwashing comes into play. She sent out a tweet being like, yes, the rumors are true. I have been fired from Adult Swim for my former tweets. But I just want to say that I deserve to be fired because I should be punished for my former. I was like,
oh my God.
Like, there's a fucking nuisance tree. I was like, get me off. Like, it's. Nuts.
And I mean, truly though, in her heart, she's not sorry, really, or like she doesn't think she needs. It's just like it's so fake and it's coming from such a fake, deceptive, malicious, just gross place when they say that shit like that.
It's virtue signaling. It's Michael Malice said it the best, right? Like all of this stuff, any virtue, especially during COVID with the mask stuff, like all this virtue signaling is low status people, right, trying to put themselves in a position of power, and that's perfectly said. It's people who never held authority in their life, right? Never held power, were always bullied, or
Are not virtuous people in any way. They have no virtue.
No virtue, but they can be like, put your mask on, and then they get to go, look what I did. Pat, 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 pat. It's like, cool guy. Again, luckily by me, we don't have any mask shit as of now. Again, we haven't in a bit, but like, I don't know if they bring it back. Either I'm just not going to do it, or I'm just going to find the stores that let me go in without a mask. Or I did buy that fake mask thing.
Okay, the real thin one. My dad got
it's mesh. It's complete. It's mesh.
Okay.
It's just mesh. Which this is also funny because that website got shut down 5 different times. Why is it illegal to sell a fake mask? There's no crime to sell a piece of fabric, but they're shutting it down. But you can sell a shirt. You're selling a piece of cloth. It's crazy. As I'm saying, it's so unconstitutional what they're doing. But I had to wear a mask because I was going to physical therapy for my shoulder and neck, and they required a mask in there, and I needed physical therapy. Like I was right. So I was like, well, I'm gonna have to comply to this one, guys. I can't fucking escape this. So I just got the fake mask, but no one fucking knew. No. No one fucking knew. It's so fucking stupid.
And it had the same efficacy as any of the other ones. So
I would, as a joke, before I got the fake mask, before that was available, and I was still wearing regular mask, as a joke, I would vape with my vape pen through the mask, through the front of it, and I'm like, hey guys, now you're telling me these particles, which are significantly bigger, got through with these.
Right.
Right? Okay, I want to make everybody clear of this. It's like
it travels on the aerosols or whatever. Like everyone's like, it stops droplets, and it's like, okay, yeah, but it still gets out there. But trust the science.
And then people, I was Spike Cohen and I were just saying this the other day, but like people would be like, well, then why do doctors wear them? I go, that's the last piece of the puzzle for their safety measures, the mask. They are in a completely sterilized environment. The mask thing is in case the doctor sneezes or something like that. That's all it is.
Yeah, and I'm like, are you performing surgery at the grocery store that you think you're so important you gotta wear a mask like a doctor does during surgery? No. So like, no one can even bring that up. It's like the most stupid thing ever. Like you're not performing surgery at the grocery store.
I'm sure there are some people like that, like maybe have a cancer or something like that actually should be wearing a mask because then COVID
right, and they know it.
But here's the problem: we don't know it. So when I look at that person, I go, "Fucking loser!" And like, oh, I could die. It's like whatever. You don't believe him, But
too funny.
No, but we could wrap it up here. It was super fun. Please tell everybody where they could find you on your Twitter, anything you have coming up, anything you want to plug at all. Please, the floor is yours.
Twitter, is at Forest Mommy, and I have a YouTube as Forest Mommy. And actually in a half hour, I have a guy coming on from Perth, Australia. We're gonna have a little chat, see how things are over at that side of the world. And that's on my YouTube, Forest Mommy. That's it.
Awesome. Guys, thank you for joining us. As always, super fun time. Thank you for joining me again, Forrest. I feel weird just calling you Forrest.
I like Forrest. Forrest is fine.
Forrest works. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for joining. Next week's show, we got Justin O'Donnell from New Hampshire. He's fucking great and very funny dude. Check that out. Again, download, subscribe, all that shit. Leave comments, whatever the fuck. I don't know. Buy shirts. Come to my comedy show. Support me at Adam Nutter and all this stuff. All right, guys. Peace out.
Thanks for listening. Find Adam on social media, Twitter and IG at Adam Nutter, or Facebook and TikTok at Adam Nutter Comedy. And for podcasts and merch, check out www.droptent.com. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
This has been a Drop Tent Media production.